Where this leather jacket will be like squeaky.
Oh, that's
So you want me to like look at the camera the entire time, right? Like just right at
directly
yeah.
at the
All right. Every time I answer questions, I'll make sure I'm just like
right at the
really give them the good stuff.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey's got that voice. I got the camera look. Really like to break the fourth wall every single time I answer a question.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
All right. I think everything is rolling.
All right, man.
All right, man.
We are now
let's rock and roll
on the record.
On the record. All right, I'm gonna do a little countdown and we'll rock it, man. All right. 3. You talking to me? I'm talking to you. This is talking to me, talking to you, and I'm joined by my good friend Noah Smith.
Dude, this is the closest I could ever drive from interview. It's pretty
You like that? Right down the road, dude.
I love it. I wish every gig was like this.
Dude, you're my neighbor.
School's letting out. I was coming down, like where I went to high school is literally, you can see it.
Yeah, same. I went there too, man.
It was weird driving through there. Although there's a crosswalk there that there used to not be, and I about hit like 3 kids.
Oh,
so it's like,
you don't want to
sorry.
do that. It's
I always said I wanted to leave my mark on this town.
That's hilarious. That would be the way to do it. You would definitely end up in the newspaper. Front page, probably.
Local, man.
Local man.
They don't care when you play any shows in Cincinnati. They just, as if somebody gets hit, though.
Yeah. As soon as a car accident comes
Democrat.
on, man, it's right there. But they don't want to talk about the happy things in life, But dude, no, thank you so much for coming out and coming on the podcast. We've been talking about doing this forever.
Man, I thought you never going to ask me. I was like,
I've asked him multiple times.
Like, I got to do something cooler than I've been trying to do, and maybe Will have me on the podcast.
You're almost as elusive and exclusive as Adam Lee, because I've been trying to get him on just as long, just about.
I figured he'd wait till I was here. Adam, come on the podcast.
Come on, you and Nick and me and you, we're all here. It's all right though. You're here though, which is cool, man. And
he's busy.
Yeah, he's busy, man. Dude, you're busy. So you've been killing it lately. You just released a new record. Ain't so bad around here. I was actually at the show. I got a little piece of art. I don't know if you can see it on the cameras.
Good, man. Yeah.
But I just posted up a little cool video on my story. And dude, that show was just super fun. First off, like you bring a good fun atmosphere to all your shows. But that show that specifically was really cool because you had all these artists and basically my entire people, everyone at that place that was doing something to contribute to your show. I know personally and I'm good friends with, and so that was, for me personally, that was really cool to experience that and just to see basically my family of artists doing their thing, and I thought it was super cool, and that runs right into how you are with your music and as a person. I think that you bring this just very honest and honorable way of showcasing yourself through your music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. It's cool that you mentioned that, because the more that I'm doing this and putting music out and putting records out, and after 2020, I realized more than ever, I always knew it was about this, but I've really put my hand on it in this last year. And what got me into music, man, is just, it's one word, it's community.
Yeah.
And that's what I fell in love with from day one. But as a young guy coming up and trying to figure out what the hell any of it meant, I was, really trying to find answers and just work hard and make good art and make good music. But I really fell in love with community. And so when you talk about the record release show, as creatives, I don't think we get to celebrate wins enough. We just make things and then we're on to the next one, and then we make things, we're on to the next show. And as there's that post-tour syndrome where you're down in the dumps, or when you release a movie or something creative, you go through that valley. And I just told myself, man, we're just going to start celebrating the wins, Yeah. And so that show was a big part of that. And if I can get detailed on the front and put a show together the way I want to put it together and the way I want to feel, and there's actually pizza in the green room, and that's a win for me, and I get energized.
I ate some of that pizza.
Yeah. Shout out Newport Pizza. And but if you do work that way, and we plan even the celebration, that communal thing happens, and I think that was really, really incredible. And I'm just big ups and props to everybody involved with it. But we put that vision out, and then we show up and do the work, and then I enjoyed my night, and that's that's what's up. We had Sunday drives there, we had some incredible artists and vendors, and I've just always loved the community of music. And growing up out here, that was it. It was kind of a punk rock scene. There wasn't hardcore, post-hardcore music was kind of the thing, and if you wanted to play music, that's what you had to do. There wasn't any other options. It was like, get your guitar, get some drums, go to your buddy's garage, turn everything up really loud, scream into the microphones, and that was it. But man, even though that's not the music I do today, I fell in love with that. I fell in love with the culture and bringing people together and sharing and supporting. So yeah, man, I'm really starting to put my hand on that more this year of like, that's what I really love to do.
Yeah. And dude, like just you doing that, like made, like in my opinion, probably one of the biggest and best shows locally here in Cincinnati that you'll see in the next like year, maybe two. I've been to a lot of those shows, man, and it hasn't happened in a while because of the circumstantial stuff. And that's
a big testament too, like having Sunday drives come out. I've been working with those guys and hanging out and producing those guys, and they've been working at my studio some, and I've always been a big fan of like, it's not just about a good Noah Smith night. I want people to come out and have a great show. I want my fans to wake up the next morning, they spend a little money, they bought some tickets, they had some drinks, they had a good time, and the whole night was great. And that's how we make music fans. That's how we make people that are going to support a scene and support a city. And next thing you know, Cincinnati's on the map for a lot of bigger things than just one act.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm all in on that. Whatever it looks like, I don't know, but yeah, we're figuring it out, man. Having a good time,
dude. And like I said, man, that speaks right into what I'm talking about. I've had a few people on the podcast like say like, "Hey, man, Noah Smith is in a way like the godfather of this scene. He's trying to give back."
That's crazy, man. Yeah, dude. I got hit with that this year though. Like, I'm 34. And man, I got hit in 2020. Like, I got this little gray patch coming in, but it's not an age thing. I got many years to go. But like, I got hit last year that like, I'm a cat in Cincinnati that when I was 19 and hungry, that I was looking up to.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that because I think I'm doing. I have a lot of work to do and a lot of amazing things to still work on. But like,
you're just a veteran.
You
man.
Look around and you're like, oh, I kind of know what I'm doing. I know how to do this.
Yeah.
And that's really special and cool. But then it also, I had to tell myself, like I always say, if I'm the best songwriter in the room, I'm in the wrong room. I need to grow. I need to get around better people. If I'm the most successful person in the room, and so then you start looking around like, all right, let's surround myself by some better, more creative people. And I loved working with Sunday Drives in the studio this year because those guys are so hyper creative. It really reminded me of who I need to be and how I need to be. But yeah, man, it's weird. Like, hearing that, like what is that, dude? Like,
I don't know. That's what someone else said. It might not have been the right word. Who was it? It was Matt Waters. I think said that.
Somebody sent me that. I watched that. I've watched a bunch of your podcasts. These are great, man.
Well,
this
thank
whole
you,
vibes.
Man. I appreciate it, dude.
You're doing good work, dude.
I'm trying, man. Trying to just.
I feel like we should like write our high school newspaper and be like, look at me and Will. Like, this is what we're doing.
We're on the headline of that newspaper now. Not you hitting 3K.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
We got 450 views.
Giving back to the community.
That's right. Right
into it. You also like running along those same lines. You kind of offer like you call it the long cut mindset. It's more of like a thing that you're providing to people. It's like a community based kind of like informational kind of like line to how to be, independent artist. So I would just like to kind of for you to touch on that with me a little bit. Explain
the long cut mindset. I had a record come out in 2018 called The Long Cut. I have a song called Long Cut.
Yeah.
I had a podcast called The Long Cut.
Okay.
And it became just something, driving down the road, and we were talking about the long cut was the process of music and the grind that we've been on. That you get these peaks and valleys. We go play some shows with the Steve Miller Band. That's a big highlight, and the next thing you know, you're not booked for 2 months, and there's just peaks and valleys in it. So, but if you look over time, we all kind of have this. As long as you're waking up, you're making good things, you're being a good person, and focusing on what you love, and staying focused and staying healthy. I think there's a lot slower climb than anybody ever wants to submit to. So years ago, I was just like, this is the only way. I came from a very blue collar construction family. Like, we grinded, we worked. Like, my dad's, he's not 60 yet. If he's watching this, like, I'm not 60 yet, but dude, that dude could out shovel anybody. Like, just hard work, man. And you look and you're like, this is what my life looks like. So the long cut mindset came from that. Coming from community and really dreaming about that. Coming up as a young person in music, I never could find anybody that was like willing to like really answer my questions.
Yeah.
It was always like, get out of my way. I'm the artist. I don't want to give you any of my details and info.
Yeah.
I said,
help me on my stuff.
Yeah. And so I kind of was like, you know what? I think it's time to change the conversation. If I've always dreamed of being helped, what if I started helping other people? Because I'm not at the top. I'm not at the bottom. I'm in the middle in this long cut. It's my journey, what it looks like. And so there's a lot of people that just dream of booking shows. There's a lot of people that just dream of writing songs, and I know how to do those things. There's a lot of people that need help, with their business and marketing. And there's all these music gurus out there, but what really changed my life was when I started doing mindset work on myself. I got a business coach, started studying Brendan Bouchard.
Okay.
Read a book by Michael Hyatt called Free to Focus that, besides the Bible, I always say that changed my life. Free to Focus, Brendan Bouchard's book, High Performance Habits. Like, I started diving in, realizing, like, okay, I'm observing all these people around me. Like, what is the thing that people always say, like, why did they make it and not me? And I don't think every time it's got to do with money and music. I think there's a lot more to it about our habits in life and the way that we look at ourselves. And that's what's always gave me confidence to keep going. And my mom kind of tricked me into having this wild self-esteem when I was a kid, like, for some reason. So, like, I think that was a big part of it, and so I thought, okay, let's throw this out, and I'm gonna throw it up. And it was this crazy idea. I invested in my own business coach to help me learn how to be a coach and do this. And it's baby steps. It's new. And I told my members, I said, this is brand new. You guys are my founding members. And once about 30 people got inside, I was like, what am I gonna do?
How many people you got right now?
There's 25 people that are inside of it. And so I closed the doors, and so I could double down and focus on those people and learn how to coach. This is something new. I've always been an artist. The long cut mindset, people can still sign up and learn about it and get on the waiting list. But I was like, I kind of got to that point where I'm like, I need to put music out. And that was scary for me. Like 2020, man, 2020 was a crazy hard year, but it was a year that, like, if you wanted to try something, this is still the time to, like, make new things
100%.
And fail at new things, because
100%,
people are just going to forget about it.
That's where we wrote our movies, man. It was in the midst of that.
And the most creative people that I know, the most successful people, they're not just crazy and running 100 miles per hour. They're just making things. And, we made a record last year. I launched this coaching platform. I launched a whole new community for my fan memberships. And all those things were things that I never would have done before, because I was scared I got to be the artist. And I got to be the creative. And it was like, I got some information to share. And be honest, man, it's helped my income out. It's helped me still be my music and my coaching is it. And, it's all channeled through my music, but it's been a blessing. I'm learning a lot. There's days that I want to jump all in on the long cut, and, like, that's all I want to do, and then I can't.
I can tell, man, just by me and you, we've worked together a few times. I know a few things. You just speak out knowledge, just like in conversation, and, like, you can tell that you really do want to just, like, teach and, like, give, like, this knowledge that you've developed, because I think, in the perspective, and I have the same objective opinion, is you have to, like, for things to be great, like, around you specifically, because we only live our own lives, right? But, like, you have to, like, give what you've obtained to the people around you and build, like, constantly together, because, dude, having that knowledge and just passing it down, like you said, you don't want to be the most successful person in the room, and sometimes it's not about finding new successful people, but having the people around you be successful. And I think that we share that opinion.
And being starved for that. And I think a lot of artists and creative people, they suffer from imposter syndrome, comparing yourself, looking at other people. And there's some people inside that I coach that I've talked to very specifically about that. They're looking at other people and what they're doing. And one of the best things that I've learned for myself, man, is, like, scientifically, it is a proven fact that your brain cannot 100% think of more than one thing at once. You can bounce ideas, but you can't serve it. So I took that into looking at the imposter syndrome for people. Like, if you're struggling with yourself, start serving other people. And the second you start serving someone else, it's now impossible to drown in your own thing or your own worry or your own imposter syndrome. So I've found so much energy coaching and learning, and how to balance that's new for me. But, like, if you're serving other people, You know, a lot of people be like, man, the music industry, oh, it's this big evil, the business. Well, I challenge people all the time. What have you ever done for the music industry?
Yeah.
It's not going to do anything for you.
Did you make your music? So you made
did you do that for the music industry?
Exactly.
And what have you? And if you look at the industry, as far as, you know, you have the record industry, the music industry, public relations, the whole thing, right? All the marketing, the rate. Like, what have you ever been a part of the music industry, or are you just making music in your room and putting it out on some puppy shop distribution thing, or are you showing up and actually building relationships, going to shows, finding people that you connect with?
'Cause that's so
investing in the
man.
industry.
Yeah,
you know, like,
well, yeah, like this little moon thing right there. I mean, that's like you said, you had people at the show like selling stuff.
Yeah.
That's good friends of mine. Like, $10, man. You know, like just give something. You know, I don't have much, but I've got something. Show up, make friends, man. Introduce yourself, shake hands.
Yeah, Erica made that, right?
Erica or Sky, one of the two.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. Morning Wood.
That's right, dude. I love that.
That's a great name, dude. I love that. No, but dude, yeah, no, it's. Great perspectives, man, and like and there's another thing, like, which again runs right in that kind of showcasing, showing off like just the scene community is a crooner circus is you started doing it's I'm gonna call it Nashville style thing, because that's where I kind of know from.
Man, I don't hide that.
yeah, it's killer. I like it. But you get a line of songwriters that kind of tell their stories about their songs and why they wrote them, and then they play that song. So what kind of got you like wanting to do that and like kind of leading the pavement for that?
Man, I love songwriting. At the end of the day, that's what it all starts with for me. Like, songwriting is my favorite thing to do in the world, is write songs. I was going down 2017, 18, 19. I was laying water main before that, working construction, and I was doing music full time. I was working construction full time. I had my studio and doing a little bit of that still, and I was going to Nashville a ton. And I started going down about 17. Had a couple songs that were getting picked up. Nothing major got cut, but it kind of got me the bug. And there's a place called Revival 615 in Nashville, and shout out to those guys, man, because they've been a big blessing in my life. And I've been back in 2021 to play the room, but it's at Tin Roof on the Mumbrian is where it always was. And somebody told me to go down there, and I went to this thing, and there was 3 songwriters, and I had played some rounds. And so Nashville rounds were initially like in a round in a circle, and the audience would watch that, and we'd interact and everything. But there's 3 guys set up on this old church pew. There's a guy named Channing Wilson. And man, Channing is such a name in Nashville. Everybody knows Channing at this point. But when I first got down there, I don't think he'd been there that long. But man, I sat there and watched him play his songs, and I saw this room listen. And Channing actually stopped because the room got too loud, and he told him to shut up.
Oh, you know? Yeah, okay. Is that where you get that from?
And man, yeah, and I've done that at the Crooner before. And and I remember where I was standing. I was right to the left of the stage, and it's a little small room. They do it on Tuesday nights still. And man, it was the first time in my life I was like, these people love songwriting as much as I do.
Yeah.
And, you know, through that time, that was like 17, 18, 19, 18 and 19, I was in Nashville most Monday through Wednesdays. I stopped playing water main, and I would literally leave my house, and that was my commute. Me and my wife got together, and we were like, hey, I was laying water main 40 plus hours a week. What if we just jump off, work for my family business, which is a huge blessing, because I could say, hey, you know, I'm going to take off, and it worked out. And I've been there for 9 years, and so yeah, Monday through Wednesdays, I was going down and fell in love with it. And then I was like, you know what? Why don't we do this in Cincinnati? Because I saw that community.
Yeah.
And I talked about Brandon Bouchard's high performance habits, man. One of the high performance habits in his book is influence, and another one is necessity. And for me, man, that's something I picked up on. I was like, okay, what if I show up and serve this community? What if I just show up?
Yeah.
We don't got to make it a big deal. Made some simple little poster and just keep doing it. And make songwriting a necessity for my career in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
My goal is then I could find people that I didn't have to drive 5 hours to find great songwriters. I could find some in Cincinnati. And man, we've got some incredible. We haven't moved the needle where everybody's into co-writing yet.
Yeah.
But I've written with more people. I'm seeing other people write, and it's not always about me and my songs. But when that community happens, man, then I become the influencing piece to that.
Yeah.
It's a really valuable thing for my career. It's a valuable thing for the community. And if I can get better songs out of it, then I grow. I mean, so it all kind of comes back.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly what I was talking about. Like, as you get better, around you gets better, and everything just gets better overall. Yeah, 100%.
It's so crooners turned into, it isn't me. People keep showing up.
Yeah.
And it's like, I told myself when I started it, like, don't make it a big deal. But now I'm like designing T-shirts for it. Like, I'm like trying to like come up with the next thing.
I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get one for sure. I've been to quite a few, and I really enjoy them. It's just there's so many different variations of like songwriters, man. Like, because I assume in Nashville, I'm assuming like the main thing would be like a lot of country music and folk style. I feel like here in Cincinnati, like I don't feel like we have a specific genre our city's known for. So you get this really weird mix and bunch of creative songwriters, and you have all your different people come from out of town.
Right.
And there's always like a different mix.
Yeah, and it kind of forces everybody to become fans of each other.
Yes.
And when there's just that scene thing, and I got a lot of times people be in bands, and they're like, just this week, somebody that's playing in December was like, can I bring my guitar player and can I have somebody play a cajon? And I said, no. This is a songwriter event.
Yeah.
This isn't about your spotlight. This is literally about your song.
Yes.
And sometimes that freaks people out because they don't have the whole thing, and there's an artistry to it.
Yeah.
But then you see artists get up there, and they're up on stage with, people they would never go see. They would never go see at a concert. Mm-hmm. They would never go to another, it's kind of a scene thing, and everybody's in these little pockets.
Yep.
When you're up there with just your song and your guitar, man, and everybody's a little competitive about it, you're up there like sharpening your tools, like what are you gonna play next, and it breaks down all of that, man. And next thing you know, people are vulnerable, and people love it from a fan perspective because you get to see such a cool, different side.
Yeah,
and it's not selly. It's
not at all. And I've spoke about that before too. It's like I'm not like I'm very niche on like the stuff that I like take in, like in my my Spotify, what I watch on like YouTube or whatever. I'm very
a lot of like dark metal.
Yeah, well, no, just very that's part of it. It gets wider, but like I like what I like.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But my biggest thing I've always said is that, like, going to a live event though and taking in anybody's art the way it is, even if you don't like specifically enjoy that thing,
right?
It's always that's worth doing, because I've liked so many people's music that I would have never even given the chance on like a record. You know what I mean? But then I listen to it live, I'm like, I like it because you're there. You when you're there, you have a different opinion about things because you feel the actual energy in the room. So that's always been what I've said.
That's a silver lining of 2020 too, man. I think we realized that more people are realizing that it isn't just music. The record industry is different than the music business, is different than the live performance. It's all different.
Yeah.
There's all these different, it's the music business, but there's all these different pieces of it. And just because you're not on Spotify blowing it up and having, hundreds of thousands of streams doesn't mean you can't go take a room and make a special moment for 50 people.
Exactly.
And maybe that show is more important than a room full of 3,000.
Yeah, that's what's worth it to me. I mean, at least for people that do it for years and years and years. I mean, how many artists do you know that talk about empty rooms, singing empty rooms in their songs? I know quite a few.
Yeah.
And that's just a general theme. You just got to enjoy it, and when those moments come, you got to really take those in.
Oh man, we were in Chicago. We were in Chicago playing at this place in August, and some of my band guys they kind of got bummed out because it was kind of an empty room. It was kind of dead. Mm-hmm. And man, like, I'm the crazy inventor, so like I remember seeing the lights like hit the concrete floors, giant place up in Shorewood, Illinois, and it was people there, and we had fans come out. One of my fans had just got a big old family tattoo on his arm. Another person came out from Chicago that we haven't seen. Another person came from Nashville. So like we had people in Chicago, but the room was empty, and some of the band kind of were like, "Oh, it's an empty room." Man, I was like lit up because I remember playing those empty rooms, and then I could tell stories about it that built me up. And so I felt like coming out of 2020, it was like that long. It was like we came down, and now here I was like, thank God I have an empty room to start from.
Yeah.
And play again. You know what I mean?
That's
and
a good mindset,
But
man.
then I feel crazy because I'm just like, yeah, like, you know, because you got it 10 or 10,000, man. I'm playing my show. And because eventually there's going to be bodies there and you got to be ready.
Keep that energy, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There was this group, this music group that they said they played empty rooms for 8 years and then they had a hit song and they sold stadiums out. And that's what's
up. Dude, that's something I always say at Crooner, that people have to. Texas does it really well. Alabama and country music, man. Georgia is on top of the world right now. Alabama, they are proud.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit, you know, they got that Detroit thing.
Yeah.
Being from around here, man, it's the Midwest. We're all supposed to be kind of lukewarm. Like you can't really you can't be really opinionated about things because you're from Ohio, and it's like, what if, dude, Cincinnati needs to get behind each other, and not just this little pocket of people, but the whole thing. Yeah. There's that Mark Twain quote where he says, like, when the world ends, he wants to go to Cincinnati because it's 10 years behind the times or something like that. Yeah. Like, we need some pride. We actually need some pride in our city and not be like, it's okay. Because I was that kid. It's like, well, just, you know, it's okay. It's like, no. Maybe it's okay to be like, yeah, man, we're damn good here.
No, yeah, we're good. Like, there's so much stuff here. Like Nick Heffron, man, him and his brother, like they've done every genre of music you could ever imagine, dude, and they just enjoyed every minute of it. And they just people need to be more like that. Just enjoy stuff for what it is, have fun with it, and just be a fan.
Yeah, man. It says I got a microphone, dude. Anything with country on it, and in the city of Cincinnati, and my songwriting took me that way. But rock and roll, putting on shows, whatever you want to call it, country artists, man. Like, I'm gonna we'll look at the camera again. Like, if you're a country artist, like, we should be doing shows together. Yeah. Quit doing a 4-hour set. Like, come together. You got 200 people. I got 200 people. Let's put that together.
Yeah.
For years and years, man, it's never been like that. I feel like we're starting to bottle it up. I feel like we're starting to see that. Mm-hmm. Even being here, man, we're from different circles, and that's coming together.
Yeah.
Working with Sunday drives, man. Like,
it's part of it.
Cross-pollinating that, and not in a total strategy way, but also in a way that you're like, I'm not afraid to say it is that. Like, I got a wife and boys, and I want to make records for the rest of my life. Like, so let's actually help each other, and let's talk business, and let's be professional, and then let's be friends, and then let's make cool stuff. You know,
dude, it's not hard. It's really not.
Yeah,
it's really easy actually. It's pretty fun to do.
Yeah, we're getting close, man. I felt this energy this year of that.
Yeah, I can agree with that for sure. It's definitely, like, especially from 2020, the wave is definitely coming back up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, dude, I got a video I want to go over real quick. But this song is Cigarettes and Jesus. This is off that Long Cut album?
Oh no, man! These cigarettes. It's just a single I put out.
Oh,
on
it's a
record.
single.
Yeah.
Okay, see, I didn't even know that. Nice. All right, well, let's give it a watch. Dude, I love the beginning. I mean, this looks really. I watched a little bit of it, and it looks stellar, man.
Yeah, man. We're in Forest City, North Carolina, shooting this.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna ask where you were because it looks like Ohio, but it doesn't look like Ohio.
Oh man, I got made fun of because I was in the Titan truck. All these country boys with their American made, man.
Oh yeah.
I think at the time I was driving an HHR, so I really didn't care.
Hey man, it's a truck, right? You get a pickup. I like the style of this though. This is like. It's like runs right into like kind of what we do with our like style, the very like almost like real lifey feeling.
Yeah, man, it's this little street right here. There's been tons of music videos shot there actually.
Really?
A bunch of Luke Combs stuff was shot there, and the guys that are part of making that video. They've produced a ton of stuff. My mom was so pissed that I had cigarettes. She hates smoking. I still got that pack at home.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's very cool.
Because I don't ever smoke it, if you notice it.
Souvenir, man.
Yeah.
That's great, man. I didn't see when this came out. When did this song come out?
March 2020, man.
So this is
coming out of, when everything was shutting down. I went ahead and released it.
Wow, that's wow. Still working, man. Right in the middle of all the crazy.
Yeah, everybody was like talking about not putting music out because of COVID, and this song got more streams on Spotify than like anything has. And
yeah,
it's a good tune.
I think this was the first tune I heard from you It was like in a story. I think you put it in, and just that beginning, dude. It's so big.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this sounds kick ass.
That little spot right there is actually this crazy country venue down there that's like an old airplane hangar. You can't see any of it because it's a real tight shot, but super wild.
It's like an old big
like, and they have like
overhang.
They have like square dances and stuff there.
That's super cool.
We didn't really use it like we could have, but
yeah, it looks like it's kind of a dark place. No, man, all these shots are super tasty.
Get that Wrangler product placement,
I was just
man.
about to say, good old Wrangler.
I'm trying to get him to send me some more jeans, man.
you get some free jeans. I know they send jeans, 100%.
Yeah. Nah, they sent me a bunch of stuff one time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's why I put them in there. Yeah.
That's very cool.
They're always cool, man. Still keep in touch with them.
I mean, dude, that's very cool. I mean, just like almost like genuine. You just kind of throw it in there, you know, like, oh, thanks, guys. You know, there it is. Yeah, that guitar lick is killer, man. Who did the guitar lick? Do you know?
Sal, yeah, he's a studio musician. He always changes his Instagram, or I drop his Instagram, but man, he's got a hilarious. And I'm gonna say it wrong, but Sal, was it Wilcox? But Solo the Earth is usually, he changes his Instagram all the time. But
okay,
I think I'm saying his name even wrong, man. It's been a while, but yeah, killer players, and I made that at Saxman Studios, Grady Saxman's place, and we went real big and just did full Nashville kind of thing for the last two singles. That one and Should Have Seen Me Yesterday, and shot the video for Should Have Seen Me Yesterday that same week.
Okay.
So I was in North Carolina for a week, and we shot. Cool. Yeah, got to work on it. And
did you drop that as a single as well?
Yeah, I did Cigarettes and Jesus March. They're all out now, obviously. May dropped Should Have Seen Me Yesterday. Dropped the videos and got featured American Songwriter, and it was like, yeah, and it was like, we can't tour anywhere.
Oh.
But man, it was cool because it's cool hearing that, because now that I have the new record out with all of my local guys, and Dylan James, he's my guitar player, he's in Nashville, but we recorded it at my studio, did all the guitar there and everything, and man, it holds up, dude. Like, you know, like hearing that, I'm like, that's the Nashville thing.
That's that, and then
we did this Brown County thing, and the record holds up.
And it does, dude. It really does.
It's got its own vibe.
Yeah, because you like you said, you like the right songs. People like you have bunch of people come in and help you on the albums just to kind of get them to sound the way you really want them, and I think that's very cool, man. Because like you said, not many people are doing that around this area. It's very like within their friend group, you know, like if they do write songs with other people, it's all.
And that's cool, man. That's
for sure, absolutely, man.
And there's times I just got to write by myself. You know, there's a couple songs on the record I wrote by myself. I love co-writing. I told you I'm an includer. You know, any of those like strengths tests, like the Enneagram or like the gal. I'm always like, it's some kind of inclusive thing. So I love bringing people in and asking. You know, like I think I sent you the music video for Where I'm like, hey, what's your thoughts? Like I love that. So a lot of people were scared of that, but I enjoy it. Well,
and I feel the same, man. And I think that's a good like thing to have, especially because I mean, dude, this is what you're doing. I mean, you want it to be good. You want people to like it. Why not take advice? Because you're not going to hit the nail on the head every time.
I'm not going to see things right.
Exactly. Yeah. Because like you said, you can only perceive something one way.
The trick is though, making records and all that. The one thing that I have learned, like, you still have to know who is running the ship.
Yeah.
And who holds the reins, because that's when it can get crazy. You know what I mean? Like that's when records don't come out because they just get destroyed. And people do that when they're by themselves too. If you just have your little project and you're petting it and like holding it, and then you never put it out because you're worried. Like, put it out. Like, what was that movie? Big Fish. There was a poet, and he would write. He was a famous poet, but he only ever wrote one line. Okay. And he'd sit there and he'd look at it and he'd go back and he never finished it. But the whole thing was like, he was a famous poet that never put his poetry out because he was so. You ever seen Big Fish?
No, I've not.
Oh, dude, that movie's great. You need to look at. I don't know who like directed it or any of that stuff, but
I'll look it up. Yeah,
really good storytelling and stuff, man. Yeah,
one line per poem.
Well, no, he never finished any of them. Like that's how I always took it, because he was so inside of his own head. And he never would finish it.
Because just talking himself out of it.
Yeah.
Whatever kind of anxiety or something like that.
We just generally don't have trust. People don't have trust in each other to say like, "What are your thoughts?" And I actually care about them.
Yeah.
Do you think with like film in the film world, I think you hit this cycle where you like people don't make enough stuff.
Yeah.
And fail and fail and fail and make and make and make.
Yeah.
And like I think you do hit this point where you've made a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And then you're just confidently making. Does that happen in films where like your first project you're like this, and then you make another one and you get better? Yeah.
So I could say we've done 19 short films, like Tiny Boys.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
So we've done that. So.
Tiny Boys.
Kinda, yeah, for sure. I mean, for sure, because you get to a point where like you kind of you learn all the tricks. You figure out like, oh, so this is how you get this lighting, and this is how you do it. And obviously, you shouldn't ever quit learning. You should always continue to learn because there's always something to learn. But you know what I'm talking about. Once you learn how to play the chords, you got it.
Yeah.
Now you just gotta be creative with it, and that's kind of where it like ends up for at least for me.
Like, yeah, you hit on a little bit of what I was kind of wondering. Like, do you get to that point where you're just confidently making?
Yeah, just
so then
running.
you're okay asking other people. I think the other side of it is where you get to the place where you're like, this is as good as this is going to be lit. Okay. I'm never going to get this any better.
Yeah.
And now we move forward. Because when you start out, I think there's a lot of that. Like,
there's like question.
How do the pros do it?
Yeah.
Like, how do the pros write songs?
So yes, and it's weird because like there is that second guessing. Like even with the music video that I did with you, like so I set the lights up one way. We were like about to shoot the video, and I said, "Wait, hold on, no," and I reset it, and then that was like, oh, so this, and it finally hit. It finally hit the way I wanted it to hit, and it is that. But but like I said, me being confident, thinking that I was right. If you think something's bothering you about it, it's probably something off about it.
Own it
and own it. Yeah, say it out loud, because if you don't, then it's gonna bother you for the rest of the time it's there. And that's the kind of like yes and yes.
You're always
and
like
no.
and you're always looking for when you start out doing anything, you're looking for permission.
Yes.
To like do it that way.
Yes.
Because you're like, I think this is enough, but how do we?
And everything's trial and error. I think it's like just setting anything up when it comes to like set design and stuff like that. Like you should definitely set it up first, not really like having a whole lot of just do it, let that confidence run. Dude. And then double think, like look back and really objectively like criticize it, like what could be better, is it the best it's going to be? If it is, get away from it and go work on something else.
It takes time, I think, to get to that place. Dude, you made 19. Like that's like 19 of anything is awesome. And I think it takes time to get to that place of like prolific quality output where like that this is the best thing that I'm good at, so I just need to make more of that. Yeah,
I mean, I quit music really to do the short film, to focus on it. To focus on it. I still have an outlet through it, but I was trying to get in bands. I learned a bunch of different stuff on guitar. Like learned how to sing and play at the same time. Just nothing ever really played out in that field. Me and Caden were doing another show. And for a year, we just weren't doing nothing. So I'm like, dude, let's start doing short dramatic films. We talked about it before, and then we just ran at it, and we've been doing it since. And now we're making
when you find there's a return on when you do that, things come back. Like I think we always as creatives like want to move on to all these different stuff. I do. I've always been such an idea machine, but then last year I got really excited because I could try a couple things, and then you find out what you're not good at. But like I've been telling myself like I love making records. Mm-hmm. And so I just need to keep making that. And I have a goal for the next 10 years, one record a year. And in 10 years, I'll look back and there'll be records and we'll get better at it.
Yeah.
And some of it's going to suck, probably. But maybe not. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, too. And everything's perspective, too, man. Because, like, a big thing in film, like, for us film guys, like me, like going forward, I'm going to direct a few films, like big films in my future. I hope to do. The big thing about directors, though, is, like, they get to a point, and then they almost always fall off. Most directors. There's a few that like keep the fire, but like Quentin Tarantino said it, it's like filmmakers just don't get better. They reach the point that they're creative, like that confidence in knowing what you're doing and the creativity of being just an amateur kind of.
And he called a shot because he's got the 10. right? He's doing 10.
Yeah, he did. He called his shot.
He knows that guy is such a student of film. Yeah. Man. I've listened to a lot of his interviews and YouTube and podcasts, and like he knows he's soaked in it.
Yeah.
Like I don't have that for music, man. Like, I wish I did, but then I think I'd make myself crazy. But he knows film so much that he's like, I'm not gonna. It's like Moneyball. He's like, I'm not gonna beat the numbers.
No, yeah, I love that, he knows it. It's like statistics.
It's a gangster move.
It is, and like that's the kind of guys I like to take notes from. Because like if you look at like what he's done to encapsulate his style in movie making, he literally just watched hundreds or thousands upon thousands of movies just that nobody else really watches.
Right.
And there's another group of dudes. They're two brothers. They direct movies. The Safdie brothers.
Oh yeah,
they did like Good Time and Uncut Gems. Same thing, dude. They had this. There's this like YouTube video of them.
Uncut Gems is pretty cool.
Great movie.
Pretty heavy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's heavy for sure. But they have this YouTube video where they're just going through and picking out like it's like almost like a director's favorite movies kind of thing.
Right,
and this is a wall full of DVDs, and they'll go through and they picked out a bunch. You won't recognize any of the films that they picked out. And like, oh, this movie's great. This is great. This is
why.
Great. You have no idea what they are. And like I couldn't. And I'm a decent film buff. I at least know like popular movies and stuff for the most part. I couldn't identify one film they pulled out, dude.
Man,
it's so crazy.
I was in school with a bunch of people, guys and gals that were film just in it, man. I went to school for electronic media, so we had film and audio and TV, and it was all that, just production and new media stuff. But the film kids were like,
nah, it's weird.
They like wore different jackets, like they were those.
Dude, it's so deep. The layers upon layers are in it, man. It's crazy.
And I'd be like, "Have you seen Fight Club?" And they're like, "Get out of here, man! Like get out."
See, that's one of the movies I haven't seen though.
What?
Yeah, I know. I'm sitting here bragging.
But if you're like, if people want to be artistic, and like you've seen Fight Club, that's like they think you're trying to be artistic because it's like a call. Yeah. Dude, Fight Club's awesome.
It is that's a good one. I've seen plenty of clips from it, but not seen the whole.
It's
movie.
Surprising to me though, like knowing that's like a little cultural like meme joke, like that you haven't seen it.
I know,
dude. You should invite me over, or you come over to my place.
We'll watch Fight Club.
We'll watch Fight Club,
dude, for sure. That's the thing is I do watch movies all the time. I'm watching Ali.
Oh
you ever seen Ali with Will Smith?
I haven't seen it actually.
It's 3 hours long.
So we'll do a double night. We'll hit Fight Club, Ali.
Yeah. So I'm halfway through it right now. Dude, it's 2 hours and 45 minutes long.
There's some big ones like that I just haven't even... Like, I would just watch The Purge for the first time.
Oh, wow. So I've seen that.
The very first one, I've never seen it. We're like, we're watching it. Like,
dude, that was a pretty good movie. I like that in the Strangers. The Strangers was a better version of The Purge.
My 14-year-old wanted to watch that the other night. I'm like, we're not doing it.
Strangers?
It's because I don't like keep them from a lot of people.
Yeah.
But that one,
that's a creepy one.
That scared me really bad.
Oh, I mean, that's almost... I'm pretty sure...
Put the record on.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think it's based off a true story. I'm not sure. Why did you do this? Because you were home.
Yeah, you were home, right.
That's so creepy.
Dude. I'll tell you, I love watching movies I get tons of song ideas from movies, man.
Yeah, I know, 100%.
The Graduate, I got a song called Old Man that I had a dream. I watched The Graduate, had a dream that night, and then I had a song I woke up and wrote the next day. And it's called Old Man, and that reminds me. I had a dream last night that I met Todd Snyder, and it was pretty cool. I need to put that on my Facebook.
Wasn't Sugar Sean O'Malley in your?
Yeah, I just posted those 2 nights ago. Like I'm dreaming again.
You got some cool dreams, man.
Yeah.
I've
always been a really vivid dreamer, but I also had like night terrors when I was a kid.
Oh,
all of my kids have it, and it's horrible.
That sucks.
Like I feel so bad for my parents.
Yeah, that really.
But I had it really bad. Like I wasn't able to drink caffeine when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So my dreams, I think there's definitely something up there. But.
Nah, dude, that's very cool. I've tried to lucid dream before.
Yeah.
It's. I only had it once where I like once you can look at your hands. That's like step 1, and then step 2 is like if you're wearing a watch, try to look at time.
Yeah.
And you can't read it.
Then you can't read words.
Yeah, you can't read words. And then like that at that point you can almost like create your. I've done it once. I created basically my own dream, dude. It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was really strange. It was very vivid.
I've had a lot of people tell me that, like, man, you dream a lot. And I'm like, it's just normal for me, but like I always wondered if like I could dive in. I've listened to like some Tim Ferriss podcast about lucid dreaming and some stuff like that. And maybe we could,
we could look into it.
You could alter yourself a little bit maybe and get into that. I don't know.
We'll hook some wires up to you and see if we can collect.
Yeah, so we're gonna watch Ali Fight Club and have a dream.
Yeah,
dream night.
What's that, like Inception? Isn't that movie?
Yeah, and can we get those tanks and just?
Oh yeah, like Joe Rogan dips
Yeah.
in an ice bath.
That's
big,
right.
Big
That'll
tank
be
things.
part 2 of this podcast.
Okay, yeah, no, we'll do it inside of it. That would be great. Well, dude, no, thank you so much, man, for coming out, man. I appreciate you so much, brother.
Thank
You have a great evening, rest of your day. This has been Talking Me Talking You. Thanks for watching.